Paddy Pimblett exposes Justin Gaethje for cheating, and once you hear why, you'll never look at UFC 324 the same way again. But the real shock is how this accusation flips every prediction on its head and changes the entire future of the lightweight division. So stay locked in because the truth behind this is coming, and it hits harder than any knockout you've seen this year.
Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje, it's gonna be interesting fight because we know Paddy Pimblett, he does more jiu-jitsu grappling. If they go striking, I think Justin will beat him. But if they try more grappling, then Paddy got this, and who knows what they're gonna do, you know? What kind of fights they will show. And I don't know who will be winner. Both can win.
Well, whoever wins that fight, whether it is Paddy or Justin, how do you think they fare against when Ilya is ready to return?
Yeah, they have no chance against Ilya. Either Paddy or Justin, you know. Ilya, very, very good champion. We know he hits hard, and also he is good wrestler, good jiu-jitsu.
Nobody in the MMA world can agree on what's coming when Paddy Pimblett steps in with Justin Gaethje, and that chaos is exactly why this fight feels like a bomb waiting to detonate. But keep watching, because the moment we circle back to Paddy's cheating accusation, everything you think you know about this matchup will crumble. Some experts swear this is Paddy's arrival. Others believe Gaethje is about to punish him for every doubt, and every new clip, every new quote, every new prediction just lights the fuse even more. This isn't analysis anymore, it's a war of belief versus reality, and we're diving straight into the fire.
So if he wants to assure his title shot, he has to fight with Justin Gaethje, because if he fights with Arman, I think that Arman's gonna beat him. So the easiest path he has right now to get the title shot is Justin.
Okay, thank you.
Stylistically.
Thank you.
Dan Hooker didn't hesitate for a millisecond because the man practically laughed at the idea of Paddy being the favorite over Justin Gaethje. And if you think that's harsh, wait until you hear where this leads later in the script. Trust me, you don't want to miss that reveal. Hooker says Gaethje should be leading the odds, points to Justin's elite takedown defense, and calls this a massive step up for Paddy, who hasn't faced anyone near Gaethje's level in their prime. In Hooker's eyes, this fight finally exposes where Paddy truly stands.
Gaethje said, I'm not fighting ever again, and I'll retire if you don't give me a title shot. And they fucking bent the knee. They bent the knee to Justin Gaethje and just gave him what he wanted through him threatening to retire after beating Fiziev on short notice. Are you hearing what I'm saying right now? And the only guy, Arman took a fight against Dan Hooker, destroyed him, demolished him, made the call out, said he'd be ready for this day. And he's the only one not rewarded by any of this. It's on Dana White to say, we called Arman, and he said, what, Arman's talking shit? We asked him if he wanted to be on the card. He said no, he's going to be out till July. Unless we hear that and Arman confirms it. This is insane. But fuck Arman. Let's do this. Yeah. Justin Gaethje, the boys in the main event, dude. Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett. I reckon Pimblett's going to win.
So I know the last time you won that interim belt, you threw it on the ground in the cage, says it wasn't the priority for you. Do you have different feelings towards it this time and what it could mean at this point in your career?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't.
But then MMA Guru storms in with the exact opposite take, planting his flag so deep you'd need a backhoe to dig it out. He sees Paddy's movement, range control, and combination slicing right through Gaethje's pressure, especially once you add in Paddy's sneaky wrestling threat and unpredictable bursts. With Gaethje carrying years of wars and mileage, Guru says this is the moment Paddy walks into the chaos and steals the show.
It wasn't a priority, it was that I knew Khabib was next, and if I was going to sit there and think that I was any kind of champion with that belt, with Khabib being next, I think I was, going to be foolish. I needed that mindset to prepare for that fight, and he beat me. And but ultimately, like I said, this gets us paid as a champion, and it definitely gives me the chance to fight Ilya. I want to fight Ilya. I want to play spoiler just like I did in Khabib and Tony. I'm going to fuck this up for everybody. And there's going to be no Paddy and Ilya. I'm going to do the same thing I did for that fight. And then I'm going to fight Ilya on the White House card if he's ready to fight again. We'll see when he's ready.
Guru didn't just predict a win, he predicted the exact execution. He says Paddy takes the back, sticks to Gaethje like glue, and drags him into deep grappling waters, where Justin has struggled and burst against guys like Fiziev. His call is ruthless. Paddy finishes Gaethje in round 2, either by smashing him with ground and pound, or snatching a submission in the scramble, and that's the kind of prediction that turns this fight from intriguing to volatile.
On paper, I mean, first thoughts, who are you leaning towards in Gaethje versus Paddy?
I'm leaning towards Gaethje for sure.
Yeah?
I think absolutely. I mean, just Gaethje he's still a banger, man. And it's somewhat like Paddy's crafty. Paddy's really crafty, and he's shown that he can withstand certain things and he can hang around with certain guys. But I just think when Justin Gaethje gets rolling downhill, and the amount of violence, and he's able to catch up to people. Like you can try to be crafty as you possibly can with Justin Gaethje, but eventually he's going to catch up to you and you got to stand up and fight him. Max Holloway was able to do that. Like Max Holloway was, he was obviously doing very well, but then when he sat down on his punches, I mean, we saw what happened. So I'm not sure that Paddy Pimblett has the ability to do that. And I'm pretty sure Paddy Pimblett can't take Gaethje down. So, I'm leaning towards Gaethje, in fact, pretty heavily.
But Din Thomas jumps in to throw cold water on the hype, reminding everyone that a smart Gaethje is still a violent Gaethje, and once he turns up the pressure, someone gets hurt. He warns that Justin's intensity forces mistakes, and the real question is whether Paddy can survive the kind of punishment that only Gaethje knows how to deliver. You might think this kills Paddy's momentum, but wait until we connect this back to Paddy's he cheated before claim the twist will hit hard.
Title between Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. They got Pimblett as the favorite here. Do you agree with the odds? Do you agree that Paddy Pimblett being the favorite against Justin Gaethje?
Nah, I don't think it's the favorite. I wouldn't have him. Gaethje's takedown defense is pretty sharp. I don't see him. I don't know. Like we just haven't seen like Paddy in there get in there that often and mix it up with the best guys in their prime. So it's a big opportunity for him, but we'll see.
Din Thomas then flips the angle, saying the timing is perfect for Paddy because Gaethje's chasing one last legacy moment while Paddy's stepping into his prime. Younger guys like Arman Tsarukyan or Ilia Topuria are tougher climbs, but Gaethje represents a rare window where experience and wear meet youthful hunger. Thomas says Paddy has the opportunity of a lifetime staring him in the face, and all he has to do is take it.
Let's do this. Yeah. Justin Gaethje, the boys in the main event, dude. Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett. I reckon Pimblett's going to win. He keeps at very good range. Very good range. Keeps his distance a lot. Doesn't get caught up in the pocket too much. Throws in volume when he does throw a lot of the time with his 1-2, 1-2, and then a jump knee. And a lot of dynamic things that can get the better of Gaethje. Plus, he's going to mix in the takedowns. And Gaethje's getting up there in his career. He's just going through more and more wars, more and more scraps, a ton of time off. Pimblett coming into his prime, has been in shape for a while for this matchup as well. Pimblett, get me on the Chatting Pony pod. I know I'm controversial, but listen, guys, we could, come on now, we could make this a big deal in the build-up here. In person, I'd go in person. But there you go. This is an amazing fight. This is a banger matchup. And I do think Pimblett will win. I think
Aaron Bronstetter looks at the whole division and sees a seismic moment coming with Paddy and Gaethje center stage for an interim belt. He says this becomes a money fight, a resume booster, and a legitimate path to Ilia Topuria. Without the interim title, this would be a fun matchup, but with it on the line, everything becomes bigger, louder, heavier.
Pimblett will probably sub him as well. I think he'll mix it up. Takedowns, striking, something Fiziev did, but doesn't have the jiu-jitsu to keep a hold of Gaethje with. And Fiziev kept Gaethje down in like an inverted triangle position for like the majority of round 1. I know Gaethje's somewhat decent at scrambling, but it turns out Chandler has no ability to control in any way whatsoever without throwing himself off the top of someone and ending up on bottom or messing it up completely and using a ton of energy for no success. So I think Pimblett's got that back-taking ability. Pimblett's got that control, that stick to you, that get you in a submission position type jiu-jitsu, which is obviously any type of jiu-jitsu. But you know what I mean? He's got that level that I think is going to be able to keep Gaethje down with his back taken for a while in this fight. So I'm going to go with Paddy Pimblett here. I'm going to say Pimblett wins this fight by a TKO to ground and pound in the second round or a submission win in the second round. And we'll see what happens. Because after that, he's going to be fighting Ilia Topuria at the White House in January. Or not in January, in May or whatever.
Brendan Schaub throws gasoline on the fire by reminding everyone why this is a dream matchup. Gaethje is pure violence, a highlight machine, a fighter who brings in casuals like a magnet. Paddy might not have the same kill list, but his star power outside the cage is massive, and Schaub says this is the perfect storm the UFC wants: action, chaos, and eyeballs everywhere.
No, and we've seen him. He's moving. Justin Gaethje's moving better, but when he wants to really sit down and be violent, he can. And I think that's going to present problems for Paddy. It's going to force Paddy to make some mistakes, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to take the amount of punishment that Justin Gaethje's able to dish out.
Yeah, and
Wade Plemon breaks down the strange past that brought us here. Gaethje said he'd walk away if he didn't get a title shot, and now he's fighting for an interim belt. Paddy beat names like Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green, and Michael Chandler, but he's never fought a top 5 opponent, and suddenly he's here, one win from a title. Plemon questions the logic, but says once the cage door shuts, none of that matters anymore.
I don't know about that, but I will say, would you agree with this, that this is Paddy Pimblett's best chance at winning a UFC title out of all the
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Of all the fighters, this is going to be his best chance, because there is some truth to that. Like Justin, we know he's in the twilight of his career. He's trying to get that belt to say, he was a champ for once, but he wants another opportunity to get the unified belt, right? He wants the legitimate belt. So this is his chance to do it. So for Paddy, I can't imagine Paddy being able to do those things to Arman Tsarukyan, Ilia Topuria. So if he's
We lose you there, Dean. Not sure if Dean's stream cut out or what's going on there, Dean. I don't know.
all right.
I
You
think
got
you're
me
back.
back?
Yeah, you're back.
All right. I'm
Right.
not sure what happened. I'm sorry.
All good. You can finish your point if you remember it.
No, I was just saying, if he's going to fight anybody, it's going to have to be the older guy in Justin Gaethje, because Arman Tsarukyan, young stallion, trending upwards. Ilia Topuria, young stallion, trending upwards. Justin Gaethje is at the twilight, just trying to solidify his legacy. He's Paddy's best chance of.
James Lynch sees it through the lens of merit. If Paddy beats Gaethje, he absolutely earns a shot soon, maybe even over Tsarukyan. For Gaethje, this is redemption after setbacks like the Holloway fight, and the UFC giving him this shot is fair based on the risks he's always taken. Lynch says no matter what happens, this matchup keeps the division alive and moving forward.
Division has always been kind of a glory division in the UFC, and I think with Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje, two pretty big names in the sport, plus a fight that, if that fight doesn't deliver the goods, I'd be very surprised. Like, whether there's an interim title on it or not, this is the thing about interim championships. I like them because you get paid to be like a championship wage, right? Like if we want to be for the best interest of the fighters, like I think them fighting for interim titles is good. It's good for their prestige in the future. Like when they're out of the sport, they can say that they were a champion, whether they're an interim champion or not. I mean, Justin Gaethje's been an interim champion. Paddy Pimblett, of course, has not. But I just think that it's going to be a very fun fight, no matter how you look at it, whether you care about interim or not. Is it a fight that you would headline a pay-per-view with if there was no title on the line? Probably not. But with there being an interim championship on the line and the winner of this fight fighting Ilia down the line, like I think that the stakes for this fight are pretty big.
Michael Bisping comes in sharp, saying Paddy might joke about Paddy the Fatty, but he's in the best shape of his life, and an interim belt puts him instantly among the elite. For Gaethje, this is one last massive opportunity to chase gold late in his career, and Paddy is the unexpected wall standing in front of him. One falls, one rises, simple as that.
Top 5 most entertaining, most violent, first team, all violent fighter to ever grace the octagon. The casuals know him. Paddy Pimblett, they might know him, but he's massive elsewhere. So that's going to draw some eyeballs. That's why
Sean O'Malley leans slightly toward Paddy, pointing out he might get clipped by left hooks, but overall he's sharp and growing every fight. He highlights Paddy's toughness, slick movement, and real power, reminding everyone of that brutal head kick knockout of Poirier. O'Malley says this fight is closer than people admit, and that Paddy is a real threat everywhere.
Let's start with this.
Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett. Now, Justin Gaethje had said, listen, I'm not going to continue fighting unless I get a title shot. I guess he kind of gets what he wants there as far as he gets an interim shot, right? He was like, I'm going to retire if you don't give me a shot at the belt. And then you have Paddy Pimblett, who, I'll be honest, yes, I did want to see fight Ilia Topuria because they have the rivalry, because it goes back for so long, because I think it would be a fun build to a fight. But when you look at Paddy's record, you have him beating Gordon, old man Tony Ferguson, old man Bobby Green, and then Michael Chandler. You fight who's in front of you, so I guess you can't really blame Paddy for that, but it's like, how does that offer you a number one contenders fight without fighting someone in the top 5 ever? Until this moment. He's 7-0 in the UFC, but he hasn't fought anyone in the top 5 to even get to the title shot. Again, interim, I know, but that doesn't make sense.
Then Arman Sarukian enters the conversation and drops pure blunt truth. He hopes Gaethje stays sharp because this might be his last real window for a title. He even offers to fly out and help with camp because he wants Gaethje to take this moment seriously before it slips away forever. But when it comes to Paddy Pimblett, Arman doesn't hold back. He says Paddy gets favorable treatment, that his push is hype, and that fighters like Oliveira should have gotten this spot instead. Arman admits he's not a fan of Paddy and wants Gaethje to win, plain and simple. Arman breaks down the matchup as a classic striker versus grappler war. If Gaethje keeps his composure and wins the scrambles, Arman predicts a decision victory built on experience. But here's the kicker. Remember Paddy's he cheated before accusation? We're circling back to that in a moment, and it changes everything you think about how this fight plays out, so don't blink. So fight fans, who takes it? Does Paddy's skill, momentum, and accusations crack the division wide open? Or does Gaethje's experience, violence, and discipline make Paddy regret every word he said? Drop your predictions in the comments, hit subscribe, and buckle up. UFC 324 is about to explode.